All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, there has been plenty of attention placed on New York Yankees outfielder Aaron Judge this year, and for good reason, as the Yankees currently have the best record in Major League Baseball, while Judge is having himself an MVP caliber season as he entered play today with a 294 batting average to go along with 28 home runs and 56 runs batted in. But the other baseball team that calls New York City home is not doing that shabby this year either. The New York Mets entered play today with the best record in the National League, and they themselves have a big bopper in the middle of their lineup as well. Mets first baseman Pete Alonso is putting together an MVP caliber season himself, as he's currently hitting 281 with 22 home runs and 69 runs batted in, as he is on pace to hit 50 homers in a season for the second time in his career. Now, Alonso has been consistent as far as his slugging goes this year. He hit 9 home runs last month, and so far here in the month of June, he has 9 more. But unlike what we saw from Big Pete during his rookie season, where he hit 53 home runs for the Mets en route to becoming the first player in that franchise's history to be the NL Rookie of the Year, he has been more consistent at the plate this year. And I say that because he has vastly cut down on the strikeouts. He has much more plate discipline. And, he's has a better ability to hit the baseball with two strikes. And on top of that, he has more of an ability to go the other way with the baseball. Still a power hitting, slugging first baseman that does most of his damage as far as home runs to left field, left center, and center field. But nonetheless, he still has the ability to go or he is developing the ability rather to now hit the other way with confidence for singles and doubles. And that's going to be important for him, not only him, but also this Mets offense going forward. You think about Pete Alonso's ability to come up with the knack for the big hit. And you think back to June 17th, where he stepped up with the bases loaded against the Miami Marlins. And the first pitch, he got his pitch and he hit a grand slam. And that was important because that really put some distance between the Mets and Marlins. And of course, the Mets went on to win that contest. Hitting with a lot more confidence this season is Alonso. And I think it's coming full circle, coming all together for him as a hitter. And on top of that, the power numbers are definitely there. Um, I think one of the other things that is helping Alonso is that he has an owner that supports him and a front office that supports him. And I say that because, of course, we've talked about the ongoing contract issues between Judge and the Yankees. I don't foresee a scenario where Judge remains with the Yankees after this season due to the fact that it's going to cost them at least $300 million to keep his services. And will the Yankees want to get into a bidding war with other big market clubs? I don't think they want to do that. So I think Judge is going to be playing for somebody else next season. But on the flip side, in Queens right now, with Pete Alonso, you have an owner in Steve Cohen who's basically when I don't think he's going to allow Alonso to get to this point as far as arbitration goes. I think he sees Pete Alonso for what he is. He's a cornerstone for the Mets going forward. He's an anchor in the middle of their lineup, and I think that Cohen will take care of him, and he's not even going to allow it to get to this point like the Yankees have with Aaron Judge. Now, with that said, you look at Pete Alonso, and he has the ability to rewrite the Met record books. We talked about this with David Wright more than 10 years ago, as he was looking like he was going to be the guy for the blue and orange. But then, the injuries really started to derail his career. Wright still finished as the franchise's all-time leader in hits, just to name some of the statistical categories that he leads. But nonetheless, it looked like he was going to do more damage, especially in the power category. And Darryl Strawberry, who has not played for the Mets since 1990, still leads this franchise all time in home runs with 252. Alonso is already eighth on the list at 128. And at the very least, I see a scenario where he's top six by the time this season ends. You figure Carlos Beltran right now is sixth with 149 career home runs. Alonso is 21 behind him. Big possibility that Alonso passes him and moves into sixth by the time that this season ends. And you know what? Barring injuries, the future is real bright for him as far as rewriting the offensive categories in the franchise history of the Mets. Now, in regards to both Judge and Alonso, will we see a scenario this year where both Judge and Alonso lead their respective leagues in home runs? Very good possibility. I mean, you look at Judge right now. He came into play today with 8 home runs, six up on Mike Trout in the American League. Pete Alonso and the Mets are off today, and he's one up on Kyle Schwarber of the Philadelphia Phillies. So, we just have to wait and see what happens because, Judge has been hot all season long. But getting back to Alonso, he's a guy that, like most power hitters, he hits them in bunches. So, he can have that 2 or 3 week stretch where he just gets on a tear and it's like, what, get out of his way and just ride that wave of momentum. So there is a possibility that that could happen. Will we also see a scenario where both the Mets and Yankees have MVPs this season? Strong possibility as well. I mean, you're looking at it, the Yankees are more than likely going to finish with the best record in the American League. And of course, if they do so, Aaron Judge is going to have a big hand in that. So that definitely is going to get people talking, especially if he hits 50 home runs. The same can be said for Pete Alonso on the National League side as well. So it's a possibility. But make no mistake about it. But if you're a fan of the Mets right now, you have to love what you're seeing out of Pete Alonso. You have to love what you're seeing from that team overall. And let's just see. I think Pete keeps this going. Obviously, he's going to be an all-star this year. He's definitely put himself in the MVP talks for the first time in his brief career. And let's see how this season plays out for Pete Alonso, the New York Mets, and of course, on the flip side in the Bronx for Aaron Judge and the Yankees. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.